Wow, thank you everybody. Thanks for coming out.
It's a big turnout today.
Wow.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you, Los Angeles. So for those of you who don't know, I am Sam.
And I am Soorej.
And welcome to CassiePod, the show where we talk about pop culture, music, movies, and yep, pop culture. Today we're going to be talking about
the problem with music.
Oh.
Because modern music is just, it's really bad.
Whoa, guys.
I promise you.
It is.
We'll explain ourselves.
We'll explain ourselves.
Okay, so it's affected every genre, but the main genre that I think we're going to talk about here is rap, if we can even call that it anymore, because if you look at old rap, it's very lyrical. It was basically poems said fast with rhythm and a beat, but rap today is just awful. The lyrics, if you can even tell what they're saying.
If you can tell what they're saying. If they're even saying anything
at
all.
They're just silly and nonsensical, and maybe they might make you chuckle, but they're not good lines. They don't mean anything.
No.
There's nothing behind them. They're just words that sound good auto-tuned to people.
And, you know, I mean, maybe it's just a personal thing, but I don't even think they sound good. I think a lot of it is just the idea of what they're saying.
It's the beats pushing it forward.
The beats push it forward because they're very energetic.
These rappers, they lack so much flow.
It's terrible.
There's so many. They even have a name now, mumble rappers. You can't even tell what they're saying.
Yeah, it's
like you have no idea what they're saying. So a lot of good producers make these beats, and you hear the beat, and I'm like, yeah, this song's gonna blow up without even hearing a song, without hearing lyrics.
You don't need to hear the lyrics
because the lyrics, they don't matter. A lot of times there's auto-tune, mumble. I can't even tell what they're saying. Who knows these days? And when you can't tell what they're saying,
when you can't tell what they're saying, they're all about the same thing.
It's money, drugs, sex, violence. I'm in a gang.
It's so unoriginal.
How many songs have you heard about lean or Xanax? It's all over the place, and it's largely super unrelatable. Like a lot of this stuff,
totally unrelatable.
It's just like look back in the day in 2004, Kanye made Family Business about how close his family is and how sometimes it gets annoying and gets in his way.
That's extremely relatable.
But he still cares about them and he keeps them close. That's a very relatable song. Through the Wire is very personal to him. It's about how he got in a car crash and he actually rapped that song with his jaw wired shut, and it's a fantastic song. You look at today, there is songs like "Look at Me." I don't even know what that song's about.
What is that song?
It's nothing. It might have a few funny lyrics that make me chuckle, but they don't mean anything.
And at the end of that day, like the song is gonna it's gonna be completely forgotten.
Yeah.
Within
a
year or two.
People still listen to the Beatles. I do myself. You think in like 2067, people are like, "Oh, I love this song."
Yeah. No,
it's not happening.
Never.
These songs have no lasting power. They're only played until the next quote-unquote hype rap song comes out.
Exactly.
So many of these artists have just terrible lyrics. If you actually listen to them, you're like, why am I listening to this? Tekashi 69 says terrible things. It's just bad.
It's not even just the lyrics; it's their personality too. You know, let's go back to like the Beatles. You know, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, Ringo Starr. You know, even though some were more popular than others, these were people that you could like and that you could relate to in a way, and they were good people. You know, John Lennon was always fighting for what he believed in.
Totally agree.
With these new people, what kind of example are they setting?
They don't stand for anything. And another thing is, as an artist, if somebody else is writing your words, what are you? Why are you making the song?
Yeah.
Why is your name on the Apple Music thing?
Yeah.
Like so many rappers have ghostwriters. It's insane. A couple of years ago, Meek Mill vs. Drake came out, and it was actually proven that Drake did actually have a ghostwriter. They found the clip. Meek Mill was right. However, people sided with Drake because he makes more hype music, and they don't like Meek Mill as much, which is really sad.
Yeah.
Because Meek Mill had paid this guy for a verse, and it wasn't even his verse.
It wasn't even his.
That's pathetic.
Yeah. And, you know, outside of rap music, because there are more kinds of music today, but where?
Yeah.
You know?
It's so little. Like, pop music is it's just repetitive.
Every time I get into an Uber, and that might be a weird way to judge what people are listening to, but every time I get into an Uber, it's the same rap music over and over again.
Yeah,
if you even want to call it rap music.
Listen to the music that Twitch streamers play while they're playing games. It's mostly silly rap music. It's about nothing.
Yep.
And it's gone everywhere now. Rap used to be not as popular, and now I would say it's probably the most popular genre.
100%.
At least with the younger generation.
And so
what we're saying basically with this is there's so little variety.
Yeah.
And the variety we have is just not that interesting.
It's not.
That's why nobody listens to it.
It's not. And if you look at like the 50s, for example, the music of the 50s, back then, some of the most famous songs that come out of it are, country, jazz, swing, rock and roll was starting. There was so much variety and so many new things. People made music because they had something to say, and
wasn't made just for money.
Yeah, it wasn't just for money.
Like
it wasn't for looks. It was for they wanted to make great music, and they had something to say. And now,
when Lil Pump made Gucci Gang, it's not art. He's just saying the same words over and over. Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang. That's not art. He's just saying things and made a lot of money, and that's all he cared about. Another thing I noticed a lot.
About that, there's about saying the lyrics over and over again. Even if you look at, because there were songs that had done that before. If you look at the Beatles, I believe the song's called "She's So Heavy." I think there's only 2 lines in that whole song that are repeated, but the lines make you think and they have meaning. What the hell does Gucci Gang mean?
Yeah.
What is that supposed to inspire,
And also you look at the Beatles, even if their song necessarily was about anything like I'm the Walrus, nobody knows what that song means. If you say you do, you're lying. However, it's the way it was made. It sounds amazing to have a brilliant rhythm that I just don't think rappers today have that flow to go with it.
They don't.
If you look at a lot of rappers, they do make albums, they come out with albums, but they're not albums as they used to be. If you look at albums from back in the day, like New World Order from Electric Light Orchestra, which is my favorite album of all time. If you listen to track 1 to the last track, I think it's 9 tracks, I believe, it flows throughout the whole time. It
flows together perfectly.
It keeps the same theming, and a lot of what you'll see now is just people making singles and their albums come out. They have their singles in it, and then a couple filler songs, an intro, probably a skit, and a lot of nothing songs that nobody listens to.
And that's true. They all like with Electric Light Orchestra, the songs flew together. They had common themes and stuff, and you would see back in the day they made movies about these albums because they were relating to another, but they also had enough variety. If you look at the Pink Floyd,
they were famous
The Wall,
for each
that turned into a movie.
Each song,
because it could.
Each song on their albums, especially The Wall. You listen to the end of one song and the start of the next song. It's the same. And what they did this for it was because they wanted people to listen to the album as a whole, not just one song. They wanted to get their entire project across. It's like when you make a movie, you're not making a movie so one scene is cool.
Right.
You're making a movie because the entire project has something to say.
Exactly.
So
ABBA too. They had Mamma Mia, that movie. You couldn't make a movie with the music that's being made today because all the songs are the same. Even, let's look at, and it's not rap that's the issue. It's the artist, because if you look at Straight Outta Compton, that was a good movie.
Yeah, it was a great movie.
That movie's about rap music and these rappers and stuff.
And them too. NWA, even their name, they're very vulgar, and you can say, well, what's the difference between that and today? They're talking about being violent and all these things. Thing is, they weren't saying that stuff for no reason. Back then, it was, things were really prejudiced, and they had a really tough time being artists. If you watch the movie, they even portray it. A lot of their concerts got shut down for no reason. They were trying to say something, and and I think a lot of reasons why they lasted so long, people still listen to that, and the group as a whole, with Ice Cube in it, they only made one album. Why
Yeah.
they lasted so long? It's because they had something to say.
Exactly.
It was important.
They had something strong to say, something different to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And although it is very vulgar, that's the way they chose to express themselves.
Right.
If you look at, like, they're being vulgar now, but they're not saying anything.
Yeah. Yeah. You know,
It's no important
and
message.
they're going back on what they say too. Like if you look at what's his name?
Tentacion.
Tentacion. Yeah, that guy who made Look at Me. You know, he has
It's depressing songs.
he has his depressing songs,
Yeah,
and
and he
in
makes it
these
seem like-
songs he asks for sympathy for you. He's like, my friend got shot, or you know, blah blah blah. But then in these other songs, he's the person who's doing the shootings. You know, and it's like, how are you supposed to feel about that type of person?
He's just like there's no consistency with him. Now, granted, when you make that many songs with that many variety, you know, maybe one or two sounds good. But the thing with him is, I think he's just making these depressing songs to cash in, because a lot of depressing rap songs about how maybe, you know, life sucks.
Yeah.
That's pretty popular now, and so he's making these songs about essentially nothing, about how sad he is about nothing, and looking for sympathy, and people buy into it. He made a song for Parkland that was.
Did he really?
He did, and what's the song gonna do? I didn't. Did you see a video of him out there?
I didn't.
He
see.
didn't have anything important to say. He just wanted to say something, just to get in there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of, you know, and I'm not gonna hate on him for making a song for Parkland, and I don't know what his intentions were for that, but there is a lot of self praise with the type of music, and him especially, and just all these rappers. They're trying to get themselves.
They're trying to get the most amount of clout. It's just all about clout. Everything's clout. Nothing else.
What is clout?
It's like, pretty much it's like power, like high.
Oh, okay.
They just want all the attention, as much as possible, and I think that's the main problem.
Yeah.
That they're just making things to get popular and get money. They're not making art.
Yeah. So that's the problem with today's music.
So that's been our podcast. It's been a lovely 4 episodes. It's been great to see some of you guys every time, and I'm really proud of what we made here.
Thank you guys for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.